blood sugars,
Okay.
and we're gonna
Is he
we're gonna
in the
look at
picture?
those.
Yeah,
We're
right
not
here.
gonna tell who they are, but we're gonna look at them to get
Actually, I
an
think that's
idea
good right there.
of how to look at what your blood sugar readings are, what it actually means, because people write them down, but
recording?
they don't actually
Yeah.
do anything with what they write down. So it's important for you, when you check your blood sugar, to actually use that information. So before we do that, I'm going to give an abbreviated presentation just on controlling highs and lows of blood sugars, just to make y'all think a little bit when we start talking about this, okay? So we want to talk about peaks and valleys in your blood sugars. It's kind of like a seesaw. It goes up, you try to get it down, it goes down too low, goes down too low, so you try to get it up, it goes back too high. Blood sugar is like a seesaw. We want to keep it in range all the time instead of chasing after it and trying to make it go the other direction. So we want to make your blood sugars control your blood sugars instead of treating your blood sugar. That's two different things. Most people treat their blood sugars. We'd like to learn how to control our blood sugar. So we always talk about this, and everybody has blood sugar goals. This is what your goal should be, and this is a loose goal because the goal that your doctor has, the American Diabetes Association, a lot of people can't meet. So we give kind of a loose one. When you get up in the morning, it's just between 70 and 130. And then like an hour and a half after you eat, or maybe even 2 hours, it should be below 180. We'd really like for it to be down in an hour and a half. Some people with type 2 diabetes, that's what happens with type 2 diabetes. It takes a really long time for your blood sugar to get low. And the longer that blood sugar stays high, the more damage it causes to you. And we always talk about this three-legged stool, and this is what you use to keep your blood sugar in check, not to treat it, not to make it go up and down, but to treat it, you got to have diet, exercise, and medication. That's the three things. It sounds real easy when you say it, diet, exercise, and medication, but when you're doing them all together, it's like directing an orchestra, okay? So, what's some of the things that affect your blood sugar? Well, one of the biggest things is nutrition. The choices we make when we eat and not following your diet plan. That's one of the biggest things that affects your blood sugar. The next biggest thing is physical inactivity. Exercise helps keep your blood sugar controlled. Does a lot of things for you. So if you're not an active person, you're going to have a lot more trouble keeping your blood sugar down. And I'm not saying you need to go run a 5K race, but be active. That helps keep your blood sugar down. Some things you can't affect, when you're sick, when you got an infection, an injury, a surgery, those kind of things, your blood sugar goes up. Not much you can do about that except for treating. I'm sorry, I got a terrible cold, so I'm gonna be drinking a lot today. Emotional stress.
Do you have a designated driver?
Huh?
Do you have a
I
designated
do. Emotional stress, any kind of stress raises your blood sugar, physical stress or emotional stress. When people don't think about emotional stress, if you take your car to get it fixed and the guy tells you it's $2,000 to get your car fixed, and you don't have $2,000, that's going to cause you a lot of stress. If your daughter says, "Mama, I think you need to be doing so-and-so," and treats you like you're a child, and you're not, that causes a lot of stress. There's things that cause stress, and we can't always avoid them. We hope to learn to live with it, but it's a hard thing to do. lots of kinds of medicine you take raise your blood sugar. Like when you go to the doctor and you're sick and he gives you some cortisone or some prednisone, that raises your blood sugar through the roof, you know. Hopefully that's a short-term thing. Sometimes, you know, you're not taking the right medicine. Maybe the doctor's not giving you the medicine you need, or giving you too much or too little. The biggest thing, I know this sounds silly, the biggest thing is people skipping their medicine. Now, as most of y'all know, I'm a pharmacist. I have people come in the drugstore every day. Byree comes in, and I say, Byree, it's time to get you she doesn't do this, by the way. She's a really good patient, but, so I can pick on her. Byree, your diabetes medicine's past due. She says, oh, I got plenty of it. Are you taking it every day? I go through this every day, 10 times a day. Oh, I'm taking it every day. Well, if you're taking it every day, you would have been out 6 days ago. People just, as a rule, and just don't take their medicine regularly. I have to take medicine. I sometimes forget to do it. It's my job. And I sometimes forget it. You got to make sure you take your medicine. It's really important. Sometimes, you know, we're not given enough medicine. And then weight gain is a huge thing for diabetes. It's terrible because the more weight you gain, the worse your diabetes gets. The worse your diabetes gets, the more weight you gain. And it just keeps on going. So, for those of you who, I know not everybody here checks their blood sugar every day or regularly. Some people do, some people don't. But you just need to look for these signs of high blood sugar. If they do, if you start getting them, check it and see what it is. And you know, first one is frequent urination, because if your blood sugar gets to 200, your body tries to get rid of that blood sugar. The way it does it dumps it in your urine, so you start going to the bathroom a lot. You get thirsty, you burn vision, you get tired, you get a headache. So you get any of those kind of symptoms, go check your blood sugar and see what it is. That's kind of, you know, God's thing saying, you know, you need to check your blood sugar. Okay? These things on the right means it's too late. It's gotten really high, and that's a trip to the doctor or the hospital. And these things on the right-hand side is what really gets people really ill with diabetes. So how can we keep our blood sugar under control? We can check our blood sugar regularly and record it. Write it down. Just don't check it. Like I say, it's like people who just check their blood sugar and don't record it or do anything with it. It's like when you're in school, if you take a test and the teacher doesn't grade it. Well, why'd you take the test for? So if you're just checking your blood sugar and just check it and not doing anything with that information, why are you doing it? You're taking a test and you're not getting graded. Regular exercise. Take your medicine as directed. Follow your meal plan. And then, you know, if you're getting some funded blood glucose readings, if it's too high, too low, when you go to the doctor, I know you get more, I don't mean to do that, a lot of times doctors don't want to talk to you. You know, they want to get in and get out. Well, you know, talk to them about it. And you need to bring them those logs and show them, because they do, you know, y'all all get that A1C test done when you go to the doctor once or twice a year, and it shows what your average blood sugar is. Well, that's an important number, but I actually had one patient one time, and their A1C was perfect. And I had been working with this patient a long time, and they came in to me and said, the doctor said my A1C was perfect. I'm doing a great job. I said, no, you're not. I said, look at your blood sugar readings. Half of them are 50, and half of them are 250. When you average those two together, it's 300 divided by 2, so it showed up as 150 on the test average, which is good. But hers was totally out of control. I mean, totally out of control. But the doctor, all he looked at was that A1C, didn't look at the logs. So, and so, you know, the two together gives you a great deal of information. And A1C is that test they do to show you average blood sugar is great, but sometimes it's good to look at those logs too. Okay. As I said, our goal is to prevent high blood sugar or low blood sugar. So, you know, the best way to do it, and it's hard to do, but you got to learn to eat foods that are good for you. Whole foods like vegetables, fruits, healthy proteins. Have a good diet, a good meal plan. Eat foods that are good for you. In consistent amounts. So eat the same amount every day at the same time. Especially if you're taking diabetes medicine. You know, a lot of diabetes medicines are timed to work. They give them to you at a certain time to work on certain meals. So that medicine thinks you're going to eat lunch at 1 o'clock every day. If you don't, you know, it's going to still work. So you got to be consistent. Consistent amounts, consistent times. Now sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you're late for a meal, things like that. You know, things happen in life. We're none of them perfect, but that's what you got to strive for. And then, you know, which we're going to talk about today, keep a log of all your blood glucose readings. And when you see one that's unusual, whether it's high or low or just looks funny, write down what you have done before then. And so you say, you know, when I woke up this morning, my blood sugar was 160. What did I do last night? Because that's what affects your blood sugar in the morning, is what you did last night. So you write it on there. Or if at 4 o'clock in the afternoon you check your blood sugar and it's really good and it's normally not, what did I do? You know, write it on there. And then when you get several pages of it, you can start looking at a pattern and you can figure out yourself what affects your blood sugar. Because I'll tell you, what affects Irene's blood sugar may not affect Ruth's blood sugar. Everybody's different, even with diabetes. So you know, note those things, and it's really not a lot of work. Just jot a note when something is funny. Talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist about your medications. If you're having some problem with them, I know people say, well, I haven't been taking my medicine, it does so-and-so to you. Well, we have other medicines that we can try. Talk to your doctor about it. You know, there may be some other way you can take it so it doesn't bother you. It may come in another form that doesn't bother you. So if you're having a problem with your medicine, that's why you're not taking it. You need to talk to somebody about it. I'm just not going to take it, and don't tell anybody about it. And then, as you start to improve the way you do things, improve your diet, improve your exercise, things like that, your diabetes will start getting more in control. So then you may have to make some other changes. Maybe good changes. You know, you may have to adjust your diet some. If you're exercising more, you may have to eat more. If your blood sugar starts to drop, you may have to decrease some of your medicine. Who here doesn't want to decrease medication? I think everybody should take all the medicine they should, but nobody else here does. Okay, so that's something to think about when you start making some changes in your diabetes care. You may have to change some of your medicine. You know, so if you start getting low blood sugars, that's something you've got to talk to your doctor about.
Is low blood sugar as bad as high?
It is for some people. It's worse. You know. Now, low blood sugar doesn't cause the damage high blood sugar does.
Right.
But some people have a problem with a lot of really low blood sugar. I'm going to show you an example of somebody who has this problem, has terrible diabetes, and hers is up and down, passes out all the time. Now, most people who have type 2 diabetes don't have that problem. But I know some people who have type 2 diabetes who do get low blood sugar. It usually comes from not eating correctly or too much activity and not treating that. So, but low blood sugar makes you feel really bad. People actually pass out. Most people who have type 2 diabetes don't pass out, but it makes you feel bad. Okay. Now, high blood sugar is what kills you. So it's two different things, but both of them are bad. And especially if you have type 1 diabetes, those are the people who have lots of low blood sugars. It's really dangerous because they can get it just like that.
If you have type 2, does it ever change to type 1?
Well, you can have type 2 diabetes, and they still call it type 2 diabetes, even if your pancreas quits working and you're totally using insulin. So you're basically a type 1. But, and what happens over time, you know, we're all getting older. That's our goal in life. We all want to get older. That's why we're here to learn about diabetes. As you get older, the things in your body don't work as good as they used to. And all those things that help control your blood sugar. If you've got moderate control of your diabetes today, 5 years from now, if you don't make any changes, you'll have bad control of your diabetes. Just because as time goes on, it gets worse, just like everything else. And type 2 diabetes is progressive. It gets worse over time. And normally, you know, you'll say, well, I'm doing everything I've been doing, but my blood sugar's getting worse. Well, your diabetes is just progressive. And that's normal. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just normal. So, and like I said, one thing that causes low blood sugar is people not eating. If they're taking like type 2 diabetes, like glucotrol, which a lot of people take, which makes your body pump out more insulin in the morning time, people will take that and then they won't eat breakfast, and their blood sugar will drop because the body's going to make more insulin. So you know you gotta take in those carbohydrates. Too much alcohol consumption does crazy things to the blood sugar. Alcohol first raises your blood sugar real high, and then a few hours later it makes it bottom out. So too much alcohol will do that to you. If you exercise more than what the food you take in to give you energy, your blood sugar will drop. And as your weight decreases, your blood sugar will drop. That's a good thing, but you may have to change how you treat it. And then skipping meals is never a good thing if you have diabetes. You may have to cut down on what you eat. Sometimes your blood sugar is high, but you don't want to just skip meals. I know people just skip meals. It's not a good thing because you get that, you know, tail wagging dog thing. You skip a meal because it's low, and then it's high, and then the next meal it's too low. And this is really hard. It's hard for me, and my wife's back here. Y'all all know Diane. She understands that there's not much I would eat. I'm really picky at what I eat because, you know, I have some health problems. I want to make sure I eat healthy food. So it's hard to find things that you like to eat that are good for you, but there's lots of things out there. You just got to look for them. You know, vegetables, fiber fruits, nuts, low-fat meat, dairy. There's all kinds of things. It's just a little bit of a learning curve to learn how to do it.
It's the convenience factor.
The convenience factor, yeah. If you buy something out of the freezer section at the grocery store and put it in your oven and cook it, it's probably not good for you. It's just, that's not always true. But there's lots of things that are pre-prepared. They're not good for you. So she's right, it's a convenience thing. And you know, we both work long hours. We come home at 7:30 at night. And you know, who wants to cook at 7:30 at night? But I won't eat fast food, so we cook, you know, or eat something light. Physical activity, you need to do be active 30 minutes a day. That's not running, but be active 30 minutes a day, most days of the week. They say at least 5 days a week. Avoid alcohol. And then I tell everybody, you know, not everybody here has low blood sugar, but if you ever have had low blood sugar, you know how bad it makes you feel. You need to have some glucose tablets, or at least know how to treat it. You know, when we were children in school, we had people who had diabetes in school that didn't know how to treat it. First thing they do is give them a chocolate bar, and that's really a bad thing to treat low blood sugar with, because it has fat in it. It takes forever to absorb. Or they take a Coca-Cola and put 12 teaspoonfuls of sugar in it. You don't want to do that. You don't want to over-treat low blood sugar. Best thing to do is like glucose tablets, or a half a glass of juice, or some hard candy, or some crackers, or something like that. Something that's not processed very much. Your body will absorb it really quick. Processed foods, you know, a lot of times they have a lot of fat, things like that in them, so you've got to be careful. Nuts takes a long time to reach a blood sugar. Yeah. I eat lots of nuts.
The nuts are good
Nuts
snack.
are good for, they won't raise your blood sugar much. No, they're good for you. They won't raise your blood. Yeah, Bill.
Steve, they mentioned, we mentioned nuts, and they mentioned below the ground nuts and above the ground nuts. Does that have any impact?
They said, what now?
Below the ground nuts or above the ground nuts, like
Peanuts.
tree nuts,
Yes,
or
peanuts,
peanuts,
Walnuts?
diabetes, no difference.
I don't think so, Bill.
I know my heart doctor encouraged me to eat only tree nuts.
Tree nuts. I think it's because of the type of oils in them.
Peanuts have more, you know, they're not.
Different, but they all have, you know, none of them have,
The ground
bad-
nuts have more oil.
yeah, but they don't have bad oils in them.
Right, but they have more oil
They
content.
don't have bad oils in them. And again, as you get your start to get your diabetes under control, I just want to talk one more minute about this. You need to look out for low blood sugar, because when it gets below 70, you may start getting some of these things, and some people don't get the symptoms I talked about, where you get low blood sugar and you don't notice it. So just be aware of that. I'm not terribly concerned about that, but that's just something I wanted to mention, you know. And then, this, when you're in the grocery store, this is the most important thing you can do for your diet, is read these labeling. And I read every label of anything I eat. If they put it on an apple I eat, I'd read the label on that. You know. It'll tell you a lot of information really quick, and what you want to look for are things that low in fat, low in cholesterol, low in carbohydrates, and high in fiber. Well, this is actually Turtle's Candies, which I really like. And if I'm a really good boy, every once in a while I'll eat one, okay? Because you have to do that. You have to reward yourself. But this is terrible for you. As you can tell, it's got 18 grams of fat, 2 grams of fiber, 16 grams of carbohydrates. Now, if you eat a piece of it, it's okay. But if you eat a box of it, it's going to be really bad. So that's one of these things you can get for a reward. But you know, if you're looking for something actually to eat, all those numbers should be backwards. You know. So, and when you go to the grocery store, you can look at these, and we've talked about this before. We'll probably talk about this again. But just reading labels, it really helps you. And if you know, the first few times you go to the store and you look at them, it takes a little while, but once you figure it out, it's not that hard. And we've talked a lot about this glycemic index, because all foods, no matter how many calories they have, are not created equal. So, you know, 60 grams of white bread and 60 grams of green beans don't affect your blood sugar the same way. Okay? It's called glycemic index. So things that, the more processed things are, like white bread, the potatoes are processed, but your body's absorb them really quick. What this means is they'll raise your blood sugar, spike your blood sugar. So, difference between white bread and whole wheat bread is, whole wheat bread's got all that fiber in there. It takes your body a long time to break it down. So it goes into your bloodstream slow. Whereas whole white bread is just like eating sugar. When you eat 15 grams of whole bread or 15 grams of sugar and check your blood sugar an hour later, you'll have the same reading. Because they have the same glycemic index. So, and we've talked about these things before. I'm not going to talk about them today, but we can talk about it again another day. But just, you understand the difference, and a lot of it is how processed it is. All the white foods like potatoes, rice, bread, they're going to raise your blood sugar more than things that are not like. And vegetables don't raise your blood sugar much at all. Corn and some yellow vegetables like that are exception. They'll raise your blood sugar up a little bit more. And they have a lot of
Unless you
sugar.
eat Shirley's and she puts sugar.
Oh, yeah, sugar in her.
And it's good.
Yeah.
It's good sweet tea.
That's right. Yeah.
Beware of honey wheat bread. Also, they'll say honey whole wheat bread and honey natural, but it isn't sugar. You look it in, it's high sugar.
And exercise is one of the best things you can do for your diabetes. It lowers your blood sugar because when you exercise, your muscles need fuel. Fuel is blood sugar. It sucks it into your muscles, gets out of your bloodstream, and lowers your blood sugar. That's why exercise does it. Also helps your heart. It makes you lose weight, and it just makes you feel better. So, if you can do some exercise 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, it'll make a huge difference. So, keeping your blood sugar in control is easy. I've explained it all to you. You should know everything you need to know, right? It's not rocket science. Just monitor your blood sugar, be consistent with your medications, eat consistent foods, exercise. You got to have a sick day plan because when you're sick, your blood sugars are crazy. So when you're sick, you always need to check your blood sugar more. It makes them crazy. And be prepared for high and low blood sugars. Also, if you have diabetes, don't keep it a secret from your friends and family. People used to be ashamed to have diabetes. They wouldn't tell anybody until they passed out in the middle of the floor and then somebody thought they were dead. You need to let everybody know what's going on with it. And then always talk to your doctor and pharmacist about these things. Because if you don't talk to them about what's going on, they won't know. I'm going to show y'all some blood glucose readings of some of our, I really can't see this one very good. Can y'all see it? It didn't show up on there as well as I thought it was going to. I don't think I can make it any bigger.
I think that's the bigger blurs it more.
Let me see about
There you
that.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
How many times a day should you check it?
It depends, everybody's different. Some people check it, I got people checking 8 times a day, I got people checking once a week. Depends on what your diabetes is.
Did it get a slip on here?
Yeah. Or it died. There we go. Okay. This person's blood sugar, his is actually I'd say pretty good. He gets up in the morning, it's 107, 2 o'clock, I don't know what, he didn't write what time he eats, but I'm assuming he probably eats at 12, 1 o'clock, it's 1:42. When when you eat, your blood sugar goes up. That's natural. For everybody in the world, when they eat, the blood sugar goes up. It's supposed to. That's why you don't want to check it an hour or an hour and a half after you eat. You got to get time for it to go down. Because when you eat, everybody's blood sugar goes up. What happens with people, especially people who have type 2 diabetes, it goes up and it doesn't come back down for a long time. So we want it to be down in an hour and a half. So you
Check it before you eat?
Yeah, well, yeah, so check it. A lot of people, I tell them, check it 2 hours after they eat. Check it different times. You may want to check it before you eat one day, check it 2 hours after you eat another day, just see what readings you get. See what kind of, that way you see what kind of pattern you're getting. But his is 142, and that's at 2 o'clock, so you ate it, say you ate at 1 o'clock, that's pretty good. And then I noticed, I got several of his readings, and he eats supper like at 7 o'clock, so his blood sugar is 188 at 8 o'clock. He probably ate a pretty good supper, so that's not terrible. Try to show you this girls who, well, now this girl's is crazy, and then she over treats it. So, you know, that her blood sugar got really low, so she over-treated it, and then it was 442, and then she spent all day long trying to get it back down. And she has lots of problems with her blood sugars. So that's one thing, and that's just over-treating it. This one, her blood sugar is really high, but you look at that 330, looks like she ate 30 grams of carbs and didn't take any insulin. She's a type 1 diabetic, has to take a bunch of insulin. So she didn't take any insulin. That second line, she didn't take any insulin to cover that carbs. So that's why her blood sugar was so high there. You know, not taking the right medicine. And this is a hard job if you have diabetes like this, trying to treat it.
Look how often she's having to check it.
Yeah, she takes her blood sugar 8 times a day. Now this one here, you can see, I talked about these medicines you take to raise your blood sugar. They had to put her on some of these cortisone, and she was sick one time. You see all these 400s, 300s, can't get it down. Huh? Interferes. I had diabetes my whole life. I had diabetes my whole life. And, you know, this one here, and she knows when she does something wrong. Her blood sugar was thrown once because she forgot to take her insulin. Okay? You know. Just get busy. You know, she takes 6-7 shots a day. And just get busy. And this, as she started exercising, it made a huge difference in her blood sugar. But it took her a while to figure it out. 30-minute workout, and all of a sudden her blood sugar is 60 and 67. And it's normally not that. You know, we got several in a row here when she first started exercising. And then after a few days, I can't remember what this was. I wrote it down and I forgot. But after a few days of exercising, here's another one. She exercised, her blood sugar got too low. She passed out, too much exercise. And then here, after a few days of doing this, she realized she's not eating, when she's exercising, she's not eating enough food to cover the exercise. So she started doing that, and you see her blood sugars went back to normal for her. Okay? So, you know, she just had to try it and see what happens. here she writes down the food she takes, and she eats too much fat, by the way, that makes your blood sugar.
She likes sausage.
She likes sausage. She does like some sausage. Yeah, I know.
She likes fried sausage.
I'm gonna try to show y'all y'all's readings, if I can get it to come up on here. Some of it. Some of these may be too light for us to see, some of them may not be.
Steve, it looked like she has a pretty good correlation every time her carbs went up.
Yeah,
The sugar went up.
yeah, you're right.
Everything.
Every time, you know, she knows it, she just, sometimes she can't help it. Come on, turn the right way. Technology is a wonderful thing when it works. Well, let's just look at this sideways. See what it's like. This person, by the way, I don't know who it is. I think these are all their morning blood sugars. Hey, 1:14 in the morning, you know what they wrote? I cheated. That's somebody who has their blood sugar under control. They need to be up here teaching this class. This down here, 1.5 hours later, blood sugar was 112. So this person's, you know, whoever it is dismissed.
It was mine. I could tell by writing.
And the reading.
Yeah. I talked to Dr. I had an appointment with the doctor, with Dr. Yates, and I talked to him. I told him I was a little concerned about my blood sugar, but it was right in the range of 100, from in the 90s and
You're
100.
halfway there.
I wasn't worried about it.
And he said, well, I told him I said that I hadn't been exercising due to the cold weather.
We tried this as an experiment today. It didn't work. Tried
Well, you got to get upside down now.
taking pictures of those logs. But I'm going to tell you what this one says. Y'all can read it upside down if you want to. This person is 131, and they said they didn't walk, didn't exercise. 129 didn't exercise, but then 140 they did exercise. So
What time of day?
I don't know. It doesn't say what time they exercise. These are all. Okay, this is, yeah, these are PMs, and that's an AM. Okay, I see that now. All right, this is the, you see that 162 there? 2 slices of cake mid-afternoon. I mean, you know what? It doesn't mean you're not going to do it again, but at least you know what caused it. Okay? Sometimes in life you got to do something.
Most of the time, if you cheat, just run it up. I found that to be true.
If you cheat sometimes, you gotta walk a few extra steps.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store instead of just going to the 2 aisles you need something on, walk all the aisles, you know, to get to them. Just think about that, park further away when you go somewhere, walk a little further to get into a place. Even the doctor's office, when you go there, park it's hard to find a parking place period at the doctor's office most of the time, park far away. You know, just add a
Yeah.
few steps.
And this 200 here at supper, this person got pretty good blood sugar, but it's 200 at 9 o'clock. Looked like a good supper, except for tea, and I don't know if it was sweet tea. You know, sweet tea is the devil. I mean, seriously, if you saw how many calories in a thing of sweet tea, you know, if you put saccharin in it or sweetener in it, it's okay. But yeah, well, you know, you gotta, it's better than sugar. Yeah, I know. But sometimes, you know, sometimes you want some variety in
It's
life.
pretty good for you, just don't put nothing.
Yeah.
To me, it's not worthwhile. So,
What's that, says 239.1, breakfast, eggs, bacon, raisin, toast, grits, coffee.
that's all good.
Yeah, it's, you know, got a little bit of carbs in it, but not the end of the world. Probably a few diet changes, you know, see what's going on with your diets, and you can probably make that better.
Eggs,
Eggs don't raise your blood sugar much. They got cholesterol in them. Lots of cholesterol. Mm-hmm. I eat egg beaters, which don't have cholesterol in them, but you gotta mix them with something, you can't eat them by themselves. I mean, it's just fat.
Eat a lot of omelets.
Yeah, make omelets with egg beaters.
With egg beaters and put green pepper, we saute green peppers, saute mushrooms, sometimes onions with it, put that in there. And you also discovered that you can buy fresh salsa, and you put a little bit of salsa on an omelet. It's excellent. It adds a little punch to it. Plus, it's fresh tomatoes and celery and that sort of stuff in the salsa too. And that's when, and Steve cooks it, so that's even my more favorite meal. It's just a nice omelets, not me. But it's a quick way and an easy way to get some vegetables and the protein too.
This person's blood sugar was 108 one day, 156 the next day, and it looks like 118 the next day. And they had dinner, they had large serving of oatmeal, which is what it says. Large serving of oatmeal, which is really not that bad for you. I don't know what else.
How about grits?
Grits are pretty high in carbohydrates. I
Take
do
the
like
butter
it.
and sugar off of them,
I mean, if it, you can eat it, but it's going to raise your blood sugar. It's in moderation. You don't want it, you know. Unfortunately, when I eat grits, I won't eat Jeffro bowl for lunch. I hate to tell you, I love grits. So, you know, eat a small serving of grits, it's fine. It's like anything else, it's moderation. I'll eat too much of them. I cannot tell a lie, so.
Well, it's bad for you, don't put a pound of butter in it.
I know. And a lot of, and of course, a lot of salt, too.
Oh, yeah, they were flat. Well, your butter's got salt, so it doesn't matter salt.
But then you can't buy unsalted butter, and using that helps some.
Yeah, but it's just the
It's
salt.
still butter.
It's just the salt in the
Grits
grits.
gotta have salt.
Yeah, it's just the salt. All right, let's look at this next person, and it's $2:30, 1:04, so that's after lunch. That's really good. 2 hours after lunch, that's really good. 7:30 and 7:30 a.m. Ate supper at 7:30, country steak and macaroni and cheese. Country steak, a little bit high in calories. I know it's good. And macaroni and cheese is really high in calories. So just, it wasn't very much though. It's just like a third of a cup of macaroni and cheese. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. Lunch at Barbecue Shack at 12:30, so an hour and a half is down to 1:31. That's not bad. You know, barbecue not real bad for you. Now, if you drink the sweet tea there, it's gonna go through the
You drink
roof.
unsweet.
It's gonna, yeah, if you drink unsweet is fine.
That's what I drink.
Yeah. You know, you drink the sweet tea, it's gonna run it through the roof. But 131, an hour and a half after you eat, that's not bad at all. We'll all take that.
Coffee, green,
Coffee cream is just fine. Oh, yeah.
That's the sweet and can.
Yeah.
no,
Is half and half or skim milk or something like
Tea, you know, you put such a small amount in, it doesn't matter. You know, put such a small
that? How
amount.
much coffee a day?
Don't ask him.
He's not a good person to ask that.
I mean, you know, the latest things say 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day are good for you.
Because I heard 1 cup a day.
Yeah, you know, there's 2 or 3 cups of coffee are not bad for you.
what size of cup?
Well, that's another story.
Say 8 ounces.
Yeah, yeah.
Big gulp.
Big gulps. I drink coffee in the morning, that's the only time I drink it. I do love coffee.
How much you drink in the morning?
I drink a lot.
More than 3 cups?
No, I probably drink 2 or 3 cups.
I have to get my cup before.
Yeah, probably drink 2 or 3 cups. We both drink a lot of coffee.
Usually at least 2 cups a morning.
Yeah,
You know, when you're driving,
yeah. I don't drink it, you know, I used to drink it all through the
Right.
day.
Just in the morning.
I used to drink it till, 9 o'clock at night, but I don't do it
You don't
anymore.
have no problem just drinking water, right?
Yeah, I just drink water. I drink water through the day. I would drink coffee all day long, but as I've gotten older, I have trouble sleeping to begin with. I sure don't want to have anything that's going to keep me awake anymore.
So hot tea at night's fine, as long as you don't have all the crap in it, right?
Yeah, it's fine. And when you put a splash of cream in something like that, that's Guinness rule. You know, that's,
Don't usually like coffee made
your coffee makes got a bunch of stuff,
crap in
a bunch of crap in it. It does. And I drink skim milk, so without putting milk in anything, it's skim milk. And I exercise in the morning, and when I get home, to keep my blood sugar from dropping so low, one of the things you can do that's good for it, I drink chocolate milk. It's got protein in it, and the chocolate's the sugar in it. I drink about that much chocolate milk, and it keeps my blood sugar from dropping after exercising. That's what all the athletes do. I'm not an athlete.
What do you do, a treadmill?
I do a lot of exercise. I don't do treadmill, I do some other exercises. I don't like the treadmill.
Is it elliptical?
I do elliptical, I do row machine, I do bicycles. Treadmill hurts my knees too much. Let's see if I can get. But all in all, this person's blood sugar is really quite good. You know, you got a couple of readings a little bit high, but
Well, that has been high because I've had that cough and on that medicine ever since the middle of
but nothing
January.
bad. Nothing bad. I mean, everybody who has diabetes, except for this one person who we had here today, has bad blood sugar readings.
Well, if they start you out on the pills, how long do you usually last on the pills?
Some people forever. It's just, you know.
That you had.
It's a person thing. You know, you never know. I know people start on a low amount of medicine, they stay on a low amount of medicine forever. Byrie, I hate to use Byrie, but I know Byrie very well. And you know, she takes less medicine, and she's 60 years old now. And she takes less medicine today than she did 10 years ago when
Plus
she was
30,
50.
plus 35.
You know, she takes less medicine now than she did 10 years ago. Diabetes medicine.
I think diabetes 25 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
How many?
exactly how long it's been. About 25, I guess. I'm not sure.
I think a few years ago they had her over medicated. Plus she's learned what to do. You know,
Right.
you don't learn how to treat your diabetes overnight.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. I've been teaching this class for 15 years. I'm still learning every week when I come. I learn something from you every week when I come.
When I talked to Dr. Yates about my concern about my sugar, he said, I told him, I said, now it's been cold and I've not been to exercise. And, I said, that's been at least a week or two. And, since it's so cold, I just didn't go out in the cold. He said, well, the fact that I was using calories and not exercising was what it was called, was why she was doing like that.
Now, this person-
I know the exercise is what it was, because that keeps it down.
This
When I
person,
go
of course, it's
exercise,
sideways, and I can't get it the other way, but they got some good information on here. I don't know if you read, it's got, at 8 o'clock, well, look at this, at 7 o'clock, it was 140, and I presume that's when they got up, and then they ate breakfast, and then 2 hours later, which is the magic number to check at, it's 186, so it's too high if they ate breakfast at 7:40. The next day is the same scenario, 8:20, but at 10 o'clock it was 154. So that day, whatever they did on this first day when it was high, they didn't do the same thing the next day, or it's just one of those things.
But do you see the benefit in the information that you're putting in? What, not just what your blood sugar is, but what time of day and what you did. You know, what you ate, whether you walked, whether you cheated, you know, whether you went to bed late or, you know, whatever. With the details, information that you can give your doctor or yourself in details, you know, helps to manage your condition.
And one thing we want you to look at, I know the doctor tells you, most of y'all tells you to check your blood sugar in the morning, which is good, but it's sometimes good to check at other times of the day because some people, their blood sugar is always good in the morning. But at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it may be, it could be out of control.
And you try and stationary.
How late at night should you
You really, the later you eat, 6 or 7 o'clock, that's not always convenient for
eat?
everybody.
Enough snacking?
Well, some people, depending on what your blood sugar is, some people have, I don't see anybody here who's having low blood sugar in the morning. Some people have low blood sugar in the night and they have to have a snack before they go to bed. And it depends on what you snack on. There's things you can snack on that are not high in calories. I eat nuts because they don't raise your blood sugar that much. So there's things you can look at that are low in calories that you can snack on. There's lots of alternatives out there. Because, if you like me, I come home from work, especially if I get home early in the evening, and I do all my stuff I want to do, and then I sit down and go watch television, read for 30 minutes, and I just want to eat something. Don't need to, just want to. So I eat a lot of it. I buy raw nuts and parch them. They don't have any salt, they don't have any. And that's what I eat. But that's
What
just-
kind of nuts?
I buy redskin nuts. I buy them from someplace in North.
Redskin peanuts.
Redskin peanuts. I buy them from someplace in North Carolina. Because I'm really too fond of North Carolina. That's what I really eat.
The red ones are the best taste.
Yeah. That's.
And they're easy to do in the microwave.
They do it in the
You don't
microwave.
put it in the oven.
I don't know, you do it in the oven.
No, that's
You
small.
can do it in the microwave. But there's lots of things like that you can eat that are low in calories. Proteins don't usually raise your blood sugar up. You just don't make sure it's not something that has a lot of fat. Vegetables, most vegetables don't raise your blood sugar up. But
So if you eat vegetables and beans late at night, you can get away with it.
I hate saying this as a general rule, because you can just about, you can't eat all the vegetables you want, but if you have diabetes and you like vegetables, which I like, it's great because you can eat a full meal anytime you want to.
That she's in my Shirley's.
Yeah, I don't like sugar. 'Cause I don't like sugar
I
on
mean, I love Shirley, don't get me
No,
wrong.
I don't like sugar on my food. I don't like my food sweet. Only thing I like sweet is things that's supposed to be sweet, like desserts. But I don't like sugar on the food.
My mother, when she cooked vegetables, she always put a hint of sugar in her medicine.
And
But she could just hold them with those 3 fingers right there.
Difference in opinion.
Tomatoes, it was good because they
Yeah.
take the acid out a little bit, but not.
But I hope y'all got something out of this. I wish my technology would work better. I'd hope to be able to get these things on here so y'all could see them better. But we got a general idea of what you need to do, and a lot of y'all do a really good job of writing these things down. And if you do that, you'll start to see, you'll see that if you eat grits at night, your blood sugar's high in the morning. You'll see that.
Even for breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, that's actually kind of